Well, good morning everyone and welcome to the show. Today we have the review of two products that are brand new, so much new that we don't even have the actual production boxes yet. These are on loan to us from JVC. They wanted to get them to us so we could tell you guys about them and get you ready for when they drop. They are two power sport amplifiers. One is the KS DR2104DBT, and the other one is the KS DR2004D. The difference between the two is this is a 4-channel amplifier with a Bluetooth controller that controls the amplifier, the main volume, track up and down, has an EQ built into it, and this is just a 4-channel amplifier. And these are motorsport amplifiers, meaning that they're small, compact, and well, you can put them in bad places where things are gonna splash on them. They're water and dust proof, IPX7 and IPX6 certified, spray proof, vibration proof, 3-axis multifunction, vibration test passed, corrosion resistant sealed aluminum chassis. You know what? Let's stop talking about the specs. Let's just get them out of the box and we'll see the specs and we'll do it that way. First up is going to be the Bluetooth. Inside the box, you'll find the instruction manual, which will be a little bit more than what this comes with right now, and some screws. You have the amp itself, the controller, and also the bucket to surface mount the controller in. The controller also has a 1/4-20 mount on the back. If you want to attach this to some form of a gooseneck or, well, there's so many of those now, you can. I like the feel of it. All right, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's focus on the amplifier first. On the side of the amplifier, you have this panel here, and it kind of looks like gain controls and switches and stuff. This is showing you that this is the side of the amplifier that has the controls. This is a rubber gasket, and the controls are actually located behind it. There are 3 Phillips screws. Don't lose the plastic washers on the back. That is part of the gasket system. The little metal piece that we just took off the amplifier, the rubber goes all the way around it. It's glued onto the back here. Don't try to peel it off. Behind here, it has the same controls. You don't have to have this next to you. You can put it safely back in the box if you want. The first knob is fader. Obviously, this isn't a full-blown radio. It's just a Bluetooth controller, but you might have a situation where you have front speakers and rear speakers, and you'd like to be able to set those up. Maybe have the rears a little bit louder or the fronts a little bit louder. Next to that is going to be channel 1 and 2 crossover. It's variable between 50 and 200 hertz, both high pass and low pass. Channel 3 and 4 crossover is next, and it is variable between 50 and 200 hertz, both high pass and low pass. Crossover selection for channel 1 and 2, you have low pass, off, and high pass. The next switch is your crossover for channel 3 and 4, which is the same as the front. Then you have output. This amplifier can be used as a 2-channel amplifier, a 3-channel amplifier, and a 4-channel amplifier. The idea behind that, if you wanted to take this amplifier and apply all the power it has to 2 speakers, you can do that. Or if you have 2 speakers and a subwoofer, you can use it that way as well. So it's a very versatile amplifier. One of the problems that we've ran into in the past on some of these small amplifiers like this is that no ability to bridge the channels. 3-channel mode is very popular. On the opposite side of the amplifier is just a solid piece of aluminum, as it is on this end, but on this end over here you have the main wiring harness, and it is one heck of a wiring harness at that. Inside the harness we have the main fuse, which is a 40 amp fuse. Power wire coming off of this is a 10 gauge. It has a 10 gauge ground as well. All these wires are about 12 inches long. You have your remote turn on connection if needed. Here, there are 8 speaker wires using standard colors: white with a black stripe, gray with a black stripe, green with a black stripe, and purple with a black stripe. Your white and grays are your fronts. This is driver, this is passenger. Green and purple are going to be rear, driver, passenger. And then the last 8 gauge looking cable coming off of it is for the Bluetooth dongle. In between here we have a set of RCAs. Before we go too far on that, let's go back to the spec sheet and just talk about these for a minute. The bottom plate on this is stainless steel, which is nice when you mount it down inside the vehicle. This is a Class D amplifier. Power rating on this, which we are going to test, 50 watts, by 4 at 4 ohms, 75 watts by 4 at 2 ohms, and 150 watts bridged. That's at 2-channel. The 3-channel mode would be 75 watts and 150 watts respectively for the 1-channel. Frequency response is 10 to 20,000 hertz at plus or minus 3 dB. The single set of RC outputs, and this is why I wanted to go back to the spec sheet, is these are actually pre-outs. These are to go off to a second amplifier like the one we're going to show you, the partner to this. Or if you have a amplified subwoofer or anything else in the vehicle, these are outputs to go to it. Signal sense turn on. The cable for the remote is 8.2 feet long, and the overall size of the amplifier is 7 13/16 by 4 1/8, and it is 1 15/16 tall, so just about 2 inches. Let's take a closer look at the controller. First button is your play pause and also your pairing button. Track up, track down, main volume control, pre-out on and off, as well as EQ. To connect to the amplifier, it has this male end here and female end here. It is a siliconed heat shrink end to keep any water or anything like that out of it. Power this thing up and see what she looks like. At first power up, we notice that it is blinking. That's probably our cue to open up our phone, to go into our phone settings and look for it on Bluetooth. The RCWPAMPBT is the Bluetooth for this, and it has stopped blinking. Go to the music, volume. If you'll notice, it's controlling the volume on the phone. It has a nice visual display as you turn the volume up and down to give you an idea of where you're at on the volume. I feel that's a very important feature. If you're out driving around playing it really loud and you have no idea where this is at, you could just... You might not necessarily want to do that. Press the EQ button. It will cycle through the 7 different EQ settings. Preset 1 is natural, preset 2 is rock, preset 3 is pop, 4 is easy, 5 is top 40, 6 is jazz, and 7 is the all-powerful. One other feature that the EQ button does is controls the pre-out. So if you press and hold it, the pre-out light will come on. And if you control the volume, this will control whatever that pre-out is connected to. So it's basically a subwoofer volume control and or a tubby controller or anything along those lines. When you're done using it, press the volume to go back to main volume control, and or just wait and it will time out. 2 speakers hooked up for right now so we can demonstrate the front and rear. Turn it to the left as your front speaker control. Turn it towards your right is your rear speaker control. One of the things you might notice is missing from this is a gain control. The reason why it doesn't have one is because it is Bluetooth. It's getting its source from here, but it's sourced over Bluetooth. There is no other source input for it, so there is no need for a gain control. It's a fixed amount of sound that it's capable of producing from the Bluetooth chip. Speaking of the Bluetooth, this uses aptX and supports AAC files from your iPhone. This is also capable of pairing with up to 5 devices. The volume knob, if you'll notice here from the side, sticks out rather far. The whole design behind that is so that if you are doing something that requires gloves, it's easy enough for you to get onto, as well as these buttons are spaced out so far for just that purpose. They're easy enough to get to control. If you're interested in flush mounting it into a location, this has a clip on the side here, a clip on the side here, is designed to snap into place. If you need an amp to hook up to this set of pre-outs here, let's take a look at KS DR2104D. Inside the box, of course, you'll find the instruction manual and the amplifier itself. Looking at the 2 amplifiers side by side, as you can see, they are identical. It's almost like they were made to be played together. This amplifier, just like this amplifier, can be used in 2, 3, and 4 channel mode. It uses the same power connections as this. The difference is it has 4 RCA inputs. It also has the same 40 amp fuse. On the side of the amplifier, similar removable panels, yet different. For power, they're both the 50, the 75, and the 150 bridged. You can take this RC output, feed it into this amplifier, use this to power all the things we were talking about. As far as controls go, this amplifier does have a set of front and rear gain controls, variable between 5 to 0.2 volts of input. It has a 2-channel, 4-channel selector input. The reason for this, if you're going to be pairing it up with the Bluetooth amplifier, you can use these 2 RCAs to connect to this to power the whole amp. Crossover is identical, 50 to 200 hertz. Both high pass or low pass controlled from the switch below it. Channels 3 and 4 are the same, and the output configuration 2 or 3/4 are also identical. The construction of the two is identical, and these are made to be attached just like this and look sexy in your vehicle. One of the things about small amplifiers like this that everyone kind of worries about is, are those power ratings true? And to test that, we're going to take the 4-channel non-Bluetooth version over to the amp dyno. We're going to test it in 4-channel mode as well as 2-channel mode at the 4 ohm and 2 ohm rating for 4-channel and the 4 ohm rating at mono. The amplifier is connected. Channel 1 and 2 are going off to the amp dyno for right now. Channel 3 and 4 are connected to our load resistor bank. This is to emulate the 4 speakers being powered off the amplifier. That'll put the necessary stress on the power supply so we can get an accurate output. First up, certified dyno run. This is 2-channel at 4 ohms. We got 55 and 57 watts. We'll reset and do at 2 ohms. Holy cow, we blew away the 75 watt rating, and we have 134 and 135. The next test will be the uncertified run. This will be 2-channel at 4 ohms. We got 56 and 72, and see what it does at 2 ohms. Throwing up that big power again of 134 and 135. The last test in this series will be the dynamic power run, 2-channel 4 ohm, and we got 56 and 66 watts. The same dynamic test, 2-channel, 2 ohms. That brought us to 130 and 129 watts. This thing just puts out the power at 2 ohms, that is for sure. The next test we're going to do is a certified dyno run, but this is going to be in bridge mode, where we're running the amplifier as a 2-channel amplifier and not like the previous, which was a 4-channel amplifier. We have channels 1 and 2 left, channel 3 and 4 right. The first test will be the bridged 4 ohm. This thing just hit it out of the park with 267 and a 252. Now this will not do 2 ohm bridged, so we will move on to the uncertified test. And that gave us a 264 and a 252. The last test will be the dynamic power, and that gave us a 227 and a 249. And there you have it, guys. These little JVCs are definitely packing a ton of power. If you're looking for a cool way to add Bluetooth streaming music with an amplifier, check out the KS DR2104DBT. Or if you're just looking for an awesome little 4-channel amplifier that's rugged and puts out a boatload of power, get the pun, check out the KS DR2004D. Fernando, if you please.
On to the next one, guys.
You guys have a great night as always. We'll see you later next time.
Bye.